souls, transforming worlds to a better wonder to behold. No poverty, zero hunger for the elderly or younger. Good health and well-being, good education, empowering women to become sensation. Clean water, sanitation is a right of every nation. Economic growth inclusive and sustained through industry innovation and purely dedication. Yeah, infrastructure be gained. Reduce inequality for sure. Make human settlements secure. Take urgent actions to combat climate change. Conserve life below water and land. Ensure we do not estrange. Justice for all, a peaceful and empathetic nations. Let us all partner to achieve these goals and provide much needed salvation. Each one teach 10, no compensation. Each one teach 10, no compensation.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining today. Good morning, good evening, namaste, hola, bonjour, gerimate, terve, and marapan. This is Namya Joshi, your host for the day. Welcome to episode 88 of the podcast, Each One Teach 10, An Amazing World of STEM. An inspiring venture where we'll be discussing that STEM is a part of every day for every kid. We all will learn together how to build a STEM culture. Well, for today, my guest is Ms. Heather Brantley, who is the founder of HeatherTechEdu. She teaches CTE Digital Communications and CEER, that is Communication, Entrepreneurship, Engineering, and Robotics, at Pine Tree Junior High in Longview, Texas, in the US. It's my absolute honor to have you here, Ms. Heather. So, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I am so honored to be a guest on your show. The first time I actually had an interaction with you was at your book release whenever it came into the States. And Each One Teach 10, you were able to speak to my students in my classroom and just really make a great impact. And I'm so glad to be here tonight and contributing to your podcast. This is incredible.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for that, and the honor is all mine. Right. So, I'd like to ask you, you have an extensive background in instructional design and technology integration. So, what initially sparked your interest in these areas, and how was your journey led to the foundation of HeatherTechEdu?
Okay, so great question. I was a math teacher, and one of the things that I found students were struggling with was things being relevant to them in the classroom. So, technology was growing, and we started out with iPods, we moved to iPads, we eventually were able to get one-to-one devices, and students were intrigued with some of the online things that we were doing. But I realized that the more immersed they could be into the learning process, the better the outcome for them. So it wasn't just that they were learning a skill for this one moment in time. They were learning a skill that would be applicable to their future and who they wanted to be. So we started out with playing with just some different platforms. We started with Scratch. We did CoSpaces. And the more we played, the more the kids were asking questions, because with CoSpaces, we were, in a virtual space. And then we moved to the Merge Cube, and that just built on. And I was very blessed. I had Jamie Donnelly's daughter in my classroom, and we had went home for COVID. And Jamie was incredible about going, hey, what if we did this, or what if we tried this? Because she knew I was always looking for something to keep them engaged and relevant. So Jamie has been a great resource for me. And then through my relationship with Jamie, I also met Dr. Mary Alice Curran. So I started Global Maker Day with Digital Citizenship Institute. They do the student showcase. So my students were having opportunities to share these great things that they were doing in the classroom. And it was bringing a lot of attention to how easy it is to implement and how the student ownership really can take care of that. So as I had other educators talking to me about, hey, this is really neat, how do I do this? I realized that there was a need to go out and do professional development for educators, which is where HeatherTechEdu came in. So it's really been a lot of focus on the AI, the AR, and the VR, and the immersive technology in the classroom.
Absolutely, that is indeed inspirational. So I must say, you said your journey to instructional design and technology integration began when you were a maths teacher. I've noticed that many students struggle with the understanding and the relevance of maths in their lives, which I totally agree with. Because till date, we ask to our teachers that where do we use trigonometry, or where do we use integration and differentiation in our real lives? Because the only answer that we get is that it's just for logical reasoning, so that your brain gets sharp. But then when we actually use certain ways, like you said, introducing tools like Scratch, CoSpaces, MergeCube, the students get engaged with these tools, they have more questions to ask, and they get a chance for deeper learning. And I can totally relate to with it because I have used it myself and I've had the first-hand experience with Minecraft. And like you said, key supporters like Ms. Jamie Donnelly, Dr. Mary Alice, have particular experiences like with Global Maker Day and with Digital Institute have fueled your passion. And these experiences have highlighted the importance of basically focusing on professional growth and providing those opportunities for more educators to grow together with you.
Yes, no,
Right.
and I have been inspired by students like you on how powerful the voice is beyond the classroom wall. So it is trying to give my students those opportunities to grow and become those entrepreneurs through these experiences.
Absolutely. Thank you. Moving on to my next question for you. It's you teach CTE Web Communications and CEER at Pine Tree ISD. How do you integrate emerging technologies into your curriculum, and how do your students respond to these tools?
Well, every day is a new day. So one of the things that we teach in the web and digital communications is how to stay up to date on the things that are happening, which I have to do a lot of professional development for myself and a lot of research to keep up with the newest tools. What is the latest developments with AI? Because as you know, it changes every day. But one of the things that I do, the best way to say it is I build a relationship that is trusting with my students. So as they are hearing and seeing new things out there as well, they can come in and say, hey, Miss Brantley, have you heard about this? What is it and what does it do? So it's a safe place for them and I to learn together because I'm not the smartest person in the room. I tell them that all the time. This is something that I'm a lifetime learner myself. And my willingness to always learn and grow, I think, helps feed the classroom and my students' involvement in that. So we do integrate a lot of technology in the classroom. Just yesterday, we came back to school on Wednesday and kind of the kids getting to know each other and working together. We actually were on the VR headset and we played the Acorn Attack of the Squirrels. So we have one student, I don't know if you've ever played this one, but there's one student who is the tree protecting the acorns, and they can have 8 other students on a separate device. Most of them were either on a phone or a tablet, and they were trying to take the acorns. Well, each squirrel could have a different power, and they had to learn to communicate and troubleshoot and problem solve together to figure out what was the best way to conquer the task at hand. So it's just amazing to hear these students. And what happens is in this time, they're building a trust relationship too. And they're building a classroom environment of, that lets them know this is a safe place to learn and work together. So we all had a great time. It was a lot of fun, but there was a lot of learning that was happening as well. And it was really great whenever a student found a new skill or talent within the game, and they would share it with others and explain. And then I have some students, yesterday was the first time they'd ever had the opportunity to be in a VR headset. So before we got in it, we learned, the rules and the expectations, but other students were guiding students on the use of it. So I kind of give the classroom to them for them to do the teaching. So I enjoy doing that. The students respond very well. They enjoy it. They're always excited to come into the classroom and find out what's new, what are we doing, and to share things that they have found out about, especially as AI is popping up more into, it came into Snapchat, which is part of their world as well. So, and it gave us a great opportunity to talk about how there are dangers of the AI in Snapchat, and it's not a human, and it's not going to replace our human friends. So it brings in a lot of digital citizenship conversations naturally, and I enjoy that. So that's kind of what we do every day. There's something new. We're on Monday, we're kicking off with Canva. So we're going to learn about all the new AI tools in Canva and how to build so they can use that platform to show what they know in other classes. One of the big things with my students is I always want them to know that I don't want everything that is created in the classroom to look the same. I want their personality and their talents to show up in the product that they make for me.
Absolutely. That is really inspirational again. So you absolutely talked about, in teaching CTE web communications and CER at Pinetree ISD, you focus on, staying up to date with emerging tools and AI, and most importantly, emphasizing building trust with your students. Like you talked about creating safe spaces where you learn together and you even learn from them, because like it said, age is just a number to learn. You're never too old or too young to learn. And of course, integrated technologies like you talked about yesterday, they use VR headsets for students, which was not just enhancing their learning experience, but they were also able to reveal new skills and talents within the game. And the approach was to build trust and have a more safer approach to learning in the classroom. And this, I also totally believe, fosters leadership and collaboration among the students, showing them that their voices matter, their opinions matter. And then when you're discussing about discussions of over AI, exploring its pros and cons, that totally goes into the importance of digital citizenship as well. So that is indeed, I think, a really great classroom environment for students to grow and bloom. Right. Moving on to the next question that I have for you. It is, with AI becoming increasingly prominent in education, like you were talking about right now, what are your thoughts on the balance between leveraging AI for educational benefits and ensuring students develop critical thinking and creativity skills?
Okay, I am a firm believer in the AI being a part of their education toolbox as we go through. So one of my hashtags that, and I use it still today, whenever AI first came out, is everybody was blocking students and no one was explaining the why behind it. So I wanted to know the why. So with that, we found out it was a lot to do with the safety of the students and the information that was being given and how AI, it takes everything you give it and it goes into the database. And as we talk about with students about protecting themselves and using, good digital citizenship skills whenever they're online, AI is included in that. The other thing that came into play is they set the age limit of 13. So a lot of the students in the 7th and 8th grade have not reached that age quite yet. They're getting there. So it's not applicable for those under, and we don't want them to give out their student information through their student email to sign up. So with that, Dr. Mary Alice Curran and I and Jamie Donnelly and Eugenia, we all had some great conversations about we have this huge problem and I want to hashtag guide them, not block them. Like the kids are using it, they're using it at home, they're using it on their personal devices, but they weren't using it for educational purposes. They were using it more for a cheat tool, because the media at that time, that's what they did. They grabbed a hold to it. It's this big cheat tool, and we need to change the perspective of the way the kids look at it. So with that, we came up with Mundo. So we even have a book, Learn AI with Mundo. So Mundo is Spanish for world. So it's learn about the world with the world. And the book is on Amazon. And Dr. Mary Alice Curran did an incredible job on laying it out with the layers of the digital citizenship. So I encourage everyone to, if they can get the book. It supports Mundo, because in order for us not to collect data and information, you go on to learnwithmundo.com, and it pulls up the Mundo AI bot that you can go in and ask questions. And it is safe to use in the classroom. My students were able to beta test it. But the big thing that I work with my students with AI is teaching them the guidelines and the baselines. So the way I look at it, not just for students, but even for adults today, AI is now our new job competitor, which is different than ever before. So if here's AI and here we are and we're competing, we're all on the same level. So what are we going to do to make ourselves higher than AI? So I tell my students that when you come in and you're doing work, you're competing with AI, we're on level. What makes you stronger than AI? What makes your work stronger than AI? So a couple of things that I teach my students are that AI and Learn with Mundo is really good for them to do 3 things. So, and I have a picture here too. This is all in the book to help you. But the first thing is an idea starter, a brainstorm. A lot of times students spend wasted class time that we don't have but a few precious, hours with them every day to learn, stuck. Like, I need just to get going. So we talk about with AI about how to use it as brainstorming just to get some ideas to get going. However, AI is not the final thing. And the more you put into it, the better the response you get out. So give it the details of what you're really looking for to get you started. And then the next thing that we look at it as a polisher. So I'm guilty. When AI first started, I would take whatever I wrote and I would put it in and I said, rewrite, because I wanted AI to rewrite it for me because it sounds better, right? Well, that's giving me that baseline where what I'm putting out is AI equivalent, and I need to be better than that. So now what I teach my students and I do myself, so I'm still learning and growing, is when I put AI in, I put my work into AI, I say, give me 3 ways that this would be a better paragraph. Give me my misspelled words, because that way it's calling it out so I can see where my struggles are so I can correct those. Tell me my grammar mistakes. So instead of AI going in and automatically correcting it, as an educator, I don't tell my student, oh, rewrite this word and make it this one. I say, go back and check that one. I have them go back and identify what the problem is and how to correct it. So I'm trying to teach them to leverage AI to do the same thing. And then we look at AI as a tutor. So there are moments that an adult or someone else who may have the information is not available, and we just need to answer questions. So I really think that AI needs to be looked at in those ways. Like I said, make it your baseline. Like, you want to be better than AI. So as their future is unknown, we do know that AI will be a part of it. And we do know that AI will be a competitor for their jobs in the future. So they have to find a larger value in themselves. With that does make them have to really be a critical thinker, like, is what I'm putting in better than what, I'm getting back? And then what can I do to improve it? And they have to show the creativity. And I'm not going to lie, once again, we're going to Canva tomorrow to learn the AI tools. The students need to know how to use these tools and leverage what's available for them. And the best way is for educators and parents and friends, even if you know and you have a friend that's not in a school that's learning about these things, teach them, share those things that you've learned about how to use AI for good and how to use tech for good.
Absolutely. You're prioritizing the safety of students while integrating AI into your curriculum, and you're emphasizing and teaching them how to protect themselves online, especially since many AI tools have, like age restrictions, and also, you cannot make your accounts until you're 13. But like your approach, like you said, is to hashtag guide them and not block them, and ensuring students understand that AI is, more than just a shortcut for them. Alongside Miss Eugenia, Miss Jamie, and Marialis, you introduced tools like Mundo, an AI bot designed for students for their safe use. And like you said, it serves as an idea starter, a polisher, and a tutor, helping students to brainstorm, refine their work, and again learn from their mistakes. And that is the point I totally relate with, because even when I am, trying to get something for, maybe schoolwork or for my project work, and I'm writing some paragraphs, so I want, of course, we can use Grammarly and many other tools, but sometimes, it's just easier to and even smarter to get it corrected with AI. But then, like, I learned a new thing today, that I should always go ahead and ask it for my grammar mistakes, so that I'm not just getting it, ready-handed and pasting it somewhere, but then I'm learning as well where I went wrong. So next time when I'm typing my answer, I can write it in a better language with better grammar. So thank you for that. And of course, you're teaching them not just to use AI, but also how to be better than AI, emphasizing, it's how we humans are unique and what power we have to turn the table.
And we have fun doing it too. We really have a lot of fun. Magic School, the kids love using the different bots. And that was one of the things also whenever I was teaching AI, I had different students, like everybody grab a different bot in Magic School and then play with it and then tell your classmates. So they presented the different bots, so everyone kind of knew what the bots did. So that was a lot of fun. There's a lot of easy ways to incorporate those things into your classroom.
Absolutely, and I really like their tag, "Teachers are magic." I have the sticker as well, so it's a really cute one and meaningful one as well.
Yes.
Right. So, my next question for you is, what advice would you give to educators who are hesitant or unsure about incorporating artificial intelligence, augmented reality, or virtual reality into their teaching practices?
Okay, my advice is to trust your students. There is probably a student in your classroom who is really, really good, and that's their passion, maybe augmented reality, virtual reality, AI, so artificial intelligence. Ask your students and survey your students. And it's okay to say, we are going to learn this together. One of the things that I love to do into my classroom is we have the Kai's bot and the Kai's clan robots, and it has the AR and the VR features. And I have not touched everything and all the coding, and I have not been able to personally go through all of that. And the same stands true for CoSpaces. However, my students, as they're different ones are exploring different areas and they're sharing, it's learning to learn and grow together. So don't feel like you have to be the smartest person in the room. Don't feel like you have to know all the answers. And another great thing is invite someone else into your classroom that is comfortable with this area, and let them model it and show it for you. There are so many different resources online. A lot of your AI companies now are doing teacher certifications and educator certifications for you to learn how to use their programs and what that looks like in the classroom. So, and I'm happy to help anytime. My students love visiting classes from around the world. That is something that we actually, encourage, is for other classes to join us and have those conversations. So I am always happy if you contact me at HeatherTechEdu, either on Twitter or HeatherTechEdu at Gmail. I'm happy to set up a way to work with you and help you do these things in your classroom, because the whole reason that HeatherTechEdu is there is because I want it to be something more than what I'm giving just my students in the classroom. I want this experience for every student.
Absolutely. I really like your approach, or HeatherTechEdu, to have it not just for your classroom, but for every classroom. Like the world is an oyster, so a global classroom. Absolutely, like you said, trust your students. Like some of them might already be passionate and knowledgeable about such technologies and may have a prior knowledge about them. So, suggesting or asking or surveying them to gauge their interest and then learning together with them, which not just, gives them the confidence, but also enhances the knowledge of the teacher and the students around the person who knows about it. And I really like your approach of, the teacher not being the smartest person in the room. That's not necessity, but about exploring and growing alongside with her or his students. And of course, encouraging, inviting others to join your journey, creating a collaborative and uplifting learning environment is the best way to, learn more and engage more with other people. Right. So I have a fun question to ask you. What did you want to be when you were a kid and why?
Okay, so all I wanted to be when I was a little girl was a mommy. I was the kid who like played with dolls. I loved that mothering effect. I don't know. I just felt like it was a calling in my heart. So I did get the blessed with the opportunity to stay home with my kids, my personal kids, when they were little. But when my son hit second grade, I realized that I had a lot more to give. Um, and I started actually working in the school system. I was already working with the yearbook and the PTA, but it was more and more like, okay, you need to be a teacher. This is going to be your calling. And it was one of those that it was very natural for me to do. And in the process of that, I realized that, okay, having my two personal kids is such a joy. But now I get everyone else's kids too. I get to be a mother to kids that don't have mothers. I get to be a positive person to those kids who need that positive adult in their life. So I am truly blessed that my dream of being a mommy has become like a mommy to students around the world. And I love that. I love that I'm still growing and learning and building relationships. I love it when students come back 10, 12 plus years later and say, I remember you and you made an impact on me. So that lets me know that I'm doing the right thing. So
Absolutely. Like, what's better than a student coming back and telling you that, yes, you were the teacher who made an impact on me? And I really love the, transition from being a mom to two kids to being a mom to all the kids around the world. That is indeed deeply symbolic. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. We have some comments coming in the chat. There is Miss Monica. So wonderful to be here. Guide them, not block them, were a great approach. And she also says that Heather, we would love to collaborate with your class.
I would love that.
And there's also Jenny right here. Hey friends, so good to see you both. Thank you so much for joining. Right, moving on to next question that I have for you.
Okay.
Finally, what is your vision for the future of HeatherTechEdu? And how do you plan to continue supporting educators and students in the ever-evolving landscape of education technology?
My vision is to keep making opportunities for students to be bigger than the classroom walls. So one of the things, every semester I get a new group of kids, I tell them, you're bigger than the classroom that we sit in. You're bigger than the school building we're in. You're bigger than Longview, Texas. You're bigger than Texas. Your voice has the opportunity to be heard around the world. And I ask them to embrace that. So with HeatherTechEdu, I'm hoping to continue making, like tonight, it looks like, there's an opportunity there to connect with the classroom. I want to continue to connect with classrooms around the world so my students can learn from other students, other educators. And I enjoy it's really a large passion of mine to be able to share the great things happening in the classroom. So I do hope to continue to present and be in global spaces. So one of the great things for this next school year is last year, my students presented with Tech Action Global. We were doing the Lego Build a Change Showcase, and that actually worked its way into doing Coding for Climate. So this next year, we are actually a Take Action Global Lego district. So our school, there's 5 campuses that's going to be doing the Lego Build the Change this year and being part of that group. So we're super excited about that because I love the fact that students are able to be free to create. And I think that's one of the things with the immersive technology is giving them platforms and places for them to be creative and to show their talents so others can see that. And they may be able to put things into a vision or into words that can help reach and teach in ways that I cannot. So I'm really hoping that as everything continues to change, that we will be, more connected with more classrooms, collaborating more, doing more in virtual spaces together with students that are not even in our classroom. So, and really I still have the vision of one day having, like in the movies where the hologram person comes out in front of us and speaks. Like I want to be around when that happens too, right? That there's possibilities there.
Truly, I can see your vision for the future of HeatherTechEdu is all about creating more opportunities for students, encouraging them to use their voice, which is bigger than anything, and showcase their talents on a larger scale. And your plan is to keep connecting with classrooms worldwide using immersive technologies to spark creativity and innovation amongst the students. And you're ensuring that both students and the educators are well equipped with the ever-changing landscape of education technology so that they can thrive in it as well. Right. Thank you so much. So before we end today's discussion, we would love to know where we can find you online and what message you would like to give to the audience that is listening to us right now.
Okay, so you can find me online at HeatherTechEdu, HeatherTechEdu.com, and HeatherTechEdu@gmail.com. So I do encourage you, like I said, learn with Mundo. It's a student's guide to AI. This is on Amazon. So this is a great way if you're looking for just a simple way. And it has some really good activities in it as well. Tongue tied. And all the proceeds from the book go to support and keep Mundo free to classrooms.
Thank you so much. And there's a lovely comment by Ms. Jenny Long that Heather is an amazing leader and role model for so many.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. I love her.
And Miss Monica says, I would be the most happy student having Heather as my teacher.
Oh, thank you. I cannot wait to connect with you, Miss Monica.
Right. Thank you so much. So today's discussion has reminded me of this fact that empower your students to be the voice of the future. And together, let's shape a world where creativity and technology knows no bounds.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you. It was lovely talking to you, Ms. Heather, and I absolutely learned a lot from you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining and listening to this episode. And I'll see you in the next one. Till then, each one, teach 10. Have a nice day.